Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a pretty quick video. Today I'm going to go to two museums to see two paintings by Kahinde Wiley and one painting by Amy Sherald. Now if you've heard of Kahinde Wiley and Amy Sherald before, then you already know what two of these paintings are, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But right now I am at the Huntington Gardens and I am here to see my very first Kahinde Wiley painting ever in person. And I'm super excited. It is right there. Kahinde Wiley was just another black kid growing up in the 80s in South Central LA, a notorious gang area. But his mother had other plans for him that didn't include gangs. She wanted more for him than what she saw in her neighborhood. So she enrolled him in art classes, and some of his first art classes were here at the Huntington Library. He saw all of these portraits from the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. These are portraits of people with power, a duke, a duchess, or they were commissioned by people of power, like Pinky, commissioned by her wealthy grandmother, or Blue Boy, the son of a wealthy merchant. Blue Boy was originally named A Portrait of a Young Gentleman. It was painted in 1770 by landscape artist Thomas Gainsborough so that he could show off his technical skills a la Flemish painter Anthony van Dyck and get more paying commissions as a portrait artist. The painting was a hit at the Royal Academy in London, and it helped solidify Gainsborough's reputation as a much sought-after portrait painter. Blue Boy was purchased by the Huntingtons 100 years ago in 1921 for the exorbitant amount of $728,000. That was an unheard of sum to purchase a work of art at the time. The painting left London and has lived in California ever since. But let's fast forward to today. Kahinde Wiley was commissioned to create his version of A Portrait of a Young Gentleman to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the acquisition of Blue Boy. When Wiley's mother brought him here as a child, he loved these paintings, but it's startlingly evident that there is no one who looks like him. So as part of his inspiration, he takes these historic portraits and recreates them with a contemporary sensibility. And that gives them the same power in the portrait that had previously only been reserved for white, wealthy Europeans. For the most part, Wiley's models are ordinary people who he finds on the streets of New York or London or whatever city he's in. Let's talk about the background a little. This is one of the signatures of his art. The background is actually inspired by the wallpaper and textile designs created by William Morris, who founded the British firm Morris & Company in 1861. Here's a stained glass window that's around the corner from the portrait hall that was manufactured by William Morris. Notice the background. The figure compositions were by Edward Burne-Jones, but the background was by William Morris. Imagine if he had extended the background behind the portraits. That's what Kahinde has done. He's taken this influence and extended it not just through the background of his paintings, but intertwined with his models. It's a little abrupt to see a 21st century painting in a room where the next most recent painting is 1791. But I loved seeing it in the same room as its inspiration. Personally, I wish they were side by side instead of across the hall from one another. I kept going from one end of the room to the other, comparing them. By the time you see this video, Blue Boy will be on its way back to London for an exhibition at the National Gallery from January 25th through May 15th. Now, if you're in London, please go see this exhibit. The photos and videos of this painting don't do it justice. And there's a lot of history and interesting things in this painting that are outside the scope of this video. I want to stay focused on Kahinde Wiley and Amy Sherald at my next stop.
That was pretty cool. Now it's time to head over to LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, for my next Kehinde Wiley portrait.
At LACMA, I'm here to see the Obama portraits. Kahinde Wiley is the artist of the official portrait of Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States. I think we can all agree that there has never been an official presidential portrait that looks like this. When it was unveiled, it was compared to this Homer Simpson gif, and Kahinde Wiley even laughed at the comparison. Here are some of the wallpapers at the Huntington from William Morris's 19th century company that influences Kahinde's art. The flowers in the background of this painting are more than just random flowers. They are a story of Obama's life. The African blue lily is a nod to Obama's father's Kenyan birthplace. The jasmine represents Obama's birthplace of Hawaii and the time he spent in Indonesia. The multicolored chrysanthemums are the official flower of Chicago, where he met Michelle and where he launched his political career. And the rosebuds are the universal symbol of love and courage. Remember I said Wiley uses the poses from historical paintings to give people of color the power and prestige in a painting that was previously only available to white Europeans. This painting is of a man with actual power and prestige. As the 44th president, he was the most powerful man in the world. But he's posed in a relaxed manner. He's leaning forward, he's not wearing a tie, and his shirt is unbuttoned at the top. He doesn't need to be posed in a powerful position because he simply is a powerful man. And he's powerful because of his connection to people. Michelle Obama's official portrait was painted by Amy Sherald. Where Wiley was already a well-known artist when he got this commission, Sherald was not. Although she had a clientele and was supporting herself as an artist, she was still a struggling artist. But her work is pretty amazing. Like Wiley, her models are ordinary people she finds on the streets. Michelle Obama is the only well-known person she's painted. One of the signatures of her painting is that the skin tones are always painted in grayscale. Another is that none of her models ever smile. When I think of Michelle Obama, I think about her radiant smile, what you always see when she's in public. But Sherald wanted a painting that was more private and intimate. She says that this painting captures, quote, a contemplative, graceful woman who understands her place in history, unquote. The dress that she's wearing was designed by Michelle Smith of Millie from her 2017 collection. Smith said that the collection was inspired by, quote, a desire for equality, equality in human rights, racial equality, LGBTQ equality, unquote. Sherald said the dress first shows off Michelle Obama's fabulous arms, and it's a way to connect her to Black history through quilting without being too didactic. If you simply look at these paintings, you might not be too impressed, but once you start looking at them through all the symbolism, the meaning, and the history, they become very rich portraits. Barack Obama is the first African-American president, and Michelle the first African-American First Lady. Kahinde Wiley and Amy Sherald are the first two African-American artists to paint official presidential portraits, adding to the richness of these portraits. These portraits will be in Atlanta from January 14th through March 12th, and in Houston from April 2nd through May 30th. Then they return to the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. Although the Obama portraits are no longer at LACMA, there are plenty of other exhibits to see, including the Black American Portraits exhibit, which has a couple of other Kahinde Wiley and Amy Sherald paintings. I hope this helps you find your adventure. Thank you for watching.